Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Putra Danish bin Mizhuari AE2000115. So in our project, we need to create a FM radio, which is a devices that can transmit the signal and then produce the sound through the speaker. Through the process frequency modulation and frequency demodulation. So, frequency modulation is the encoding of the information in a carrier wave by varying the instantaneous frequency of the wave. The technology is used in telecommunication, radio, broadcasting, signal processing, and computing. And the frequency demodulation is the inverse of frequency modulation. Next is Fila table. This is our Fila table before we creating and designing the circuit for our project. So the first fact is the frequency transmission is dependent on amplitude or overall strength. The idea is need to use type of frequency that have big amplitude to ensure the transmission is running smoothly. The learning issues is which type of the frequency have bigger amplitude or overall strength. So the action plans we use FM instead of FM because the signals is more more smoother more smoother and clearer and less sensitive. So the next fact is radio transmitter is quite hard to produce due to programming code required. So we use simple devices that not require programming and low cost. And the learning issues is what type of device that have properties like that. So the action plan we use Arduino chips. The next fact is signal received can be not clear and may not reach the receiver due to interference. So we must reduce the interference in radio signal in order to get more clear radio signal. Learning issues: what is the interference and how to reduce or counter it? Action plan that we got is if interference occur, we use another dial than previous channel. So we change the channel frequency. In our project we use 88 frequency. So the next fact is electrical conductive metal such as copper can reflect and absorb the radio wave and consequently interfere the transmission. So the idea is eliminate all the possible blocking agent of signal. Learning issues: what causes the signal from transmitter being blocked? Action plan we use wire that have thin aluminum foil or braided copper wire. The next fact is most FM radio not using antenna, which will make the FM radio will not receive signal efficiently. The idea is use antenna that can receive signal from multiple transmitter location and without losing the signal. Learning issues: what type of antenna that have most efficient in receiving signal. The action plan that we got is by using directional antenna which is can receive signal from all direction efficiently without interference. So that's all from me. Thank
Selamat
you.
Sejahtera Dokter. I'm Chong Ming, AE 2046. Now I'm going to explain about the FM transmitter plot diagram. So this is our plot diagram. Then the signal source will produce the signal to the modulator, and the modulator will modulate the audio or data signal onto the radio frequency carrier, and the frequency generator or the frequency oscillator will determine what frequency the transmitter will use, and the RF power amplifier will amplify the signal so that it can be transmitted through the area, and the transmission transmit the signal by electromagnetic field. Okay, next. For the XFM receiver block diagram, the antenna is used to receive and intercept radio signal, and the RF amplifier boosts the RF signal received by the antenna, and the oscillator produces oscillating signal, and the mixer circuit step 2 signal as input, and after that the IF amplifier will amplify the IF signal or immediate frequency signal, and the FM demodulator circuit will recover the actual modulated signal from the transmitter circuit as a radio signal. After that, the IF voltage amplifier will get the original audio signal from the center section and the AF power amplifier amplifies the audio signal, and lastly, the loudspeaker will produce the sound. Next, this is our overall system plot diagram. So the information source will deliver the information or the signal. The transmitter collect the incoming message signal and modify it appropriately if necessary, so that it can be transmitted to the receiving point via the selected channel. The channel is a physical medium that connect the transmitter and receiver. It can be copper wire, fiber optic cable, free space, and so on. And the antenna is a specialized transducer that can convert radio frequency RF field into alternating current AC or vice versa. And the receiver will receive the channel's incoming modified signal, message signal, and process it to recreate the original non-electrical form of the message signal. The destination will receive the message signal and process it to understand the information contained within it. Yeah.
Flow chart of our project. So in the beginning, we need to study and analysis the problem statement so that we can know their requirement. Followed by, we need to do some research and collect the information from a journal, textbook, or something from the internet. Then we can design the FM transmitter and the receiver circuit by the online simulator. Then we test the circuit exists, the circuit works. If yes, we can move on. We can design the Arduino code. If no, we need to redesign the circuit and get other information so that the Arduino programming code, we need to find that is it the bug will be found. If yes, so we need to try to fix the bug. So if no, we can prepare all the components needed. So lastly, we can build the FM transmitter and receiver followed by our design circuit and our coding, Arduino coding that will be work. And lastly, we need to test out the hardware. It can be function well? If yes, then we completely the project and solve the problem statement. If no, we need to redesign and see which part we have made mistake.
Now I'm going to continue about the methodology explanation. So first of all, we have to select our component and material needed in this project. So we pick the graphical LCD Nokia 5110 to display the reading of the frequency. After that, we choose the potentiometers to tune the frequency and volume of the speaker, and also the FM transmitter module that can be operated from 76 until 108 megahertz. And also the important thing is the Arduino chips, which can communicate with a computer with the programming code, and the speaker to produce sound wires and other suitable components. So for the step of the building system, the first step is we have to collect our requirement. The second step is the research and collect the information, and we have to construct and design the circuit for both transmitter and receiver system using the electronic design software, for example the Multisim and Putra, and also the MATLAB. After that, we have to convert and install the circuit layout on the print circuit board PCB. After that, we have to identify the unoccupied available FM frequency by keep changing the frequency until a suitable frequency that can be selected from 88 MHz until 108 MHz using potentiometer. After that, we have to ensure both of the transmitter and receiver system have the same frequency, and the system will transmit an audio signal to the FM receiver system. So finally, the audio can be heard from the speaker. So the overall methodology for the proposal we use is implementation strategic plans and procedural approach, which is shop drawing preparation, material procurement, and material delivery. After that, we also use the try and error methods. We can be distinguished by repeat various attempts that can be continued until success. After that, we use the online research method, which is the collection of the information from the internet. And lastly, we have also used advice and suggestion from the lecturer. That's all for me. Thank you.
Salam, doctor. So, I'm Lim Kee Han. So, I'm going to explain for the result part of our report. First of all, we demonstrate or we simulate the circuit in Fortius by using Fortius. So here is the simulation of the FM transmitter and the SM receiver. So the FM transmitter will send a message and the receiver will receive the message and display for the message. First, we move on to the hardware. So we design the schematic diagram of the FM transmitter and FM receiver. So we're using the Arduino board and the LCD display, Nokia, and the transmitter module and the receiver module, including we have the antenna, potentiometer, breadboard of the jumper. So this is our final product. Here is our transmitter. So the audio is from the aux plug, the aux wire connected to the laptop or the phone, so it can get the signal, audio signal, and the potentiometer is controlling the frequency. So the display is showing the frequency that we use, and this is our Arduino board. And here is our receiver. So the receiver will receive the signal from the transmitter, and this is a speaker will produce the signal that we receive. So we play the music, and the display for the potentiometer, we need to set the same frequency so it can transform the wave. And here is the waveform of the audio signal by using oscilloscope. So here is the video for our demonstrate for our hardware. That's all from me. Thank you.
My name is Fahim Bin Azhan. My metric number is AE200121. I'm going to present about the discussion of our project. So when we designing the FM transmitter circuit, we ran into a difficulty with the serial numbers and recommended values for electronic components like the transistor and variable capacitor. We had to figure out how to address this part of the challenge, which involved using some ingenuity and alternate solutions. We discovered that it's difficult to solder a few components during the construction process. The reason for this is that project circuit board PCB tracks are designed too thinly, which causes the copper on the tracks to pull out when soldering is done repeatedly. Due to the impending production of the printed project circuit board, it is crucial to pay attention. So we have to concern about the component values in relation to how they will impact the FM transmitter circuit's output. After making the necessary adjustment to the component's value, we must run a simulation with waveforms acting as the simulation output. In order to examine and identify any related errors, we have been examining the waveforms and making the comparisons with the theory. We encountered a number of issues while finishing this project that were relevant to all project scopes. When issues arises, measures are done to address them by finding alternatives. We must be concerned with any measures made to ensure that this project produces positive outcomes. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Izzat bin Omar. My magic number is AE200101. And I'm from Group 6. I'm going to present about the project, which is the conclusion part. So, okay. For the conclusion, we can conclude that all of the objectives required in this project is fulfilled. Okay. Our first objective is we need to build an FM transmitter by utilize Arduino chip, which is a fully functional device that can transmit signal such as sound from laptop. So this objective has been fulfilled. For our second objective is we need to build a FM receiver also by using Arduino chip. And this objective also has been fulfilled. Okay, all of the result has been concluded into the report. So lastly, we can consider that this project is successful. So that's all for the conclusion part. Thank you.